So we've never done this.
Oh.
I have no idea if anybody's watching. I don't know how to tell. Hold on, I'm gonna try to get into our stream at least. That way I can see comments. That way we can respond to them. That way it's on my phone. Okay.
Well, it is live. I saw it on YouTube, so we're good. Hey,
Oh,
Herb.
Red. Okay. Hey, Herb. It looks like we have somebody watching on YouTube. Unless that's you.
That was me. But now I'm posting it on Facebook. So
Oh, rad. Okay. So you figured out how to do that. That's good.
I'm going to share the link.
Cool. I'm not going to leave our live stream on my phone.
Okay.
Oh, shit, though. I need to plug it in because it's going to die if I don't. I'm stuck. Damn it. Hold on. There we go. I don't know how I got connected, but I was.
Okay. Yes, so it works. We're good. We're live.
Okay. I'm trying.
Oh, Dina's on. Hi, Dina.
Hi, Dina. How can you tell?
I can see her in the comments. I don't have my screen maximized. So for those watching, we are learning. If you go to comments.
I can't see any comments.
Oh. Dina's
where do you find them?
I don't know how to share this with you.
Is she on Facebook or YouTube?
No, she's on YouTube.
That's why, because I'm watching the Facebook stream. So you watch the YouTube stream and I'm watching the Facebook stream.
No, I'm watching the StreamYard.
I'm confused. I don't know what you mean.
I'm sending you a message.
Okay.
I don't know how to live stream it. I just have the YouTube link that I shared. So we are on such a learning curve. Dina, we are so glad you are here.
Okay. So
we love you.
don't share the link that I sent you.
I did.
Because that's a guest link.
No, this is the YouTube link.
Okay. Yeah, that will just let them watch it and they should be able to type the comments.
Yeah. No,
Can you see any comments that come across on YouTube?
I'm not on YouTube. I'm only looking at the comments that are coming in from YouTube on StreamYard.
Can you pull up the YouTube on your phone and just mute your phone and just watch the comments?
Sure.
That way, if somebody says something, we can reply.
Oh, yeah. Well, how can you reply on
I'm watching Facebook. So on stream, nobody should be watching on
Matthew's there.
Probably will be watching on YouTube and Facebook.
So Matt just commented from Facebook.
Hi.
So I'm sure
we'll figure this out.
All kinds of things.
But if you can watch, keep your computer on StreamYard. And I'll keep my computer on StreamYard, but keep your phone on YouTube, but silent. And I'll keep my phone on Facebook, but silent. And then we can cover all of the comments.
All right, cool.
Okay.
So,
and then we'll see how it goes.
This is such a fun learning curve. Okay, yeah, I see it there on YouTube. Yeah, so Lost Stars.
Hi. Oh, you're welcome for the ice cream. Aren't those Oreo bars like the best? Oh my gosh, they're my favorite. I don't know if you shared or not, but they're my favorite.
Matt and Owen says hi. Hi, Owen.
Hi, Owen.
Nice. So you ready to talk about this book?
Yes. I loved it. I love everything so far that I have read by Claudia Gray.
I don't think she can do any wrong.
She is definitely becoming one of my favorite authors.
And she does do a lot of young adult, which is fine. But
yeah, the good stories though.
Really deep in these young adult books. And I was doing some little research on Lost Stars. So for those who may be watching and haven't read the book yet, this was released before The Force Awakens came out.
Oh, okay.
Which makes which makes so much sense in the grand scheme of things. It is about two young friends from the planet of Jellicon. Ooh. Butchering that one.
What was it? Jellico?
Jellicon. CAN. Yeah. Two life friends that joined the Imperial Academy, and then as time went on, split off to one being a commander in the Empire and the other one being a part of the rebellion.
Yep.
And
And it was, oh man, it pretty early on. I was thinking that it was gonna be Sienna that joined the rebellion.
I did, well, no, really?
Yeah, initially, like when we
Okay.
very first met them, I thought that later on it would be her that went to the other side just because of like I think the rebellion tends to be more of people who are fighting to keep their homelands. Whereas, like, the Empire has gone to her homeland and fucking wrecked it.
Well, I don't think at this point the homeland was wrecked yet, because when they first arrived, it was when they were children.
Yeah, that's
And they
true, and
were
it was really
promising
exciting. But
all
I
these
mean, like,
grand things.
I thought that later on, that's what I mean, because
Okay.
we knew that
Okay.
later on in the book, somebody was going to go to the other side,
Yeah.
and I thought it was going to be her because she was going to see what the Empire had done to the valley,
Yeah.
and I was very surprised when that didn't happen.
Yeah, she had a, like, her sense of loyalty was, I don't think I've ever read a character that had such a sense of loyalty. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, regardless
Yep.
of
I mean, like, completely steadfast, like, no wavering, no, like, you always know that she's going to stick by whatever she said, even
mhm.
if it makes her feel weird, even if it makes her feel like maybe she shouldn't. She's always going to go, like, yeah, but I said this, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, like, I was very surprised that she knew they were doing wrong. She knew that the
Right.
Empire, well, but she always tried to find logic behind everything that the Empire was doing, because she wanted them to be these
Right.
good guys that came in when she was a child and saved their planet and took care of their planet.
Hmm.
And, like, because that was her whole childhood was,
Right.
I'm going to be,
Idolizing the
yes.
Empire and the pilots of the Empire. She wanted so badly to be a pilot. Well, they both did. I mean, that's why they became friends, but
And they
I
idolize
think
Tarkin.
she right, that encounter when they were children just, like,
Yes.
cemented him forever in their minds as this guy who was like, yeah, he's somebody to look up to, like, remember she was so excited, she was like, "Oh, maybe he can become a mentor," like, holy fuck. Can you imagine?
Like,
But
and
it does a really good job of showing you the other side of things and, like, why people join. She she even later on admitted that there was a lot of corruption and dirtiness in the Empire, but she was like, "It's up to us to make sure that we fix it.
yes.
Make
Yes.
it worth dying for because so many of us have died."
Because she thought that there was still a few good people in there that they might be able to make an impact. And the Empire is so far gone and so
Right.
far beyond that. Like, it's not going to. But I
I'm gonna
do,
interrupt real quick. Hi,
yes.
Chris. Chris just popped
What's
in.
up,
Hi, how's it going?
Chris?
Have you read the
Thank-
book? Do you have any opinions on it?
I think he said in
Let
our
us know.
Patreon chat he has read the book.
Has he? Oh, what do you think? Let us know.
But
Um, we, I, I really was surprised to find out that she stayed like very
I
loyal to the Empire even after like her mother. I really thought that was when we would see her like
mhm.
turn because I really thought that would happen. I thought that she would turn and be like, okay, I cannot fucking handle what the Empire is doing anymore. I'm
But
going to join my friend and the person that I love most over in the rebellion because I mean, look what they're doing to these people. Look what they've done to my mother. And she didn't. And it's just because of her word. And
But if
like,
you looked at
man.
Thane even brought up a good point, and I think this is what the Empire was doing during that time when they went back home
Mhm.
to stand by her mom or her mother. He was like, could this just be a part like of the Empire testing your loyalty? Is this why they approved you going back?
Right.
And
Is maybe.
oh, real quick, yeah. Chris, Dina, you definitely need to read this
God.
one.
Yes, it's so good, Dina.
So good. Yes, and it does have the
Read
love
it.
and romance and friendship that
It
you would love, Dina.
does. It does. And it's such a good story. Like, oh man, I love it. You got to read it. Yeah.
But like, once he said that, and after learning about how they pitted, they sabotaged them during the first like half or first year of the training academy. What's up? Ah, hey James.
Hey, how's it going?
But
I think already this is more fun than the way we have previously done book club chats. This is nice.
And Jared, what's up?
How's it going? Have you guys read the book? What do you think about it?
James said he is so glad that this book is being discussed.
Like, yay! So you like it or you hate it? Like, which one is it? Where is he? I can't see his comments.
Oh,
is he over on YouTube?
Yeah, these are on YouTube. But Thane brought up that point.
Hey,
and then
by the way, I'm going to interrupt you again, Denise. I'm going to interrupt you like 500 times tonight. I'm so sorry. Thank you for subscribing, James. We really appreciate the support.
Yes, thank you.
Super, so much. Super rad. I just dropped my Gatorade. I'm glad to this one. All right. Okay.
But we learned in the first semester when they were sabotaged on their standings for the top of the class. They were he went in and is flying and they cut the wires. Do you remember that? Yep. Mm-hmm. And later we found out it was the higher ups who did that because they don't want two people.
Like they were because they were so close, right? If we jump back just a little bit, when they were kids, they started flying together, right? So they were practicing together all the time. It talks a lot in the book about how they became like two sides of the same person, almost like when they were flying, they were so in tune with each other that like they were one person flying the machine. So then you kind of fast forward that to their academy years and they're relying too heavily on each other. And the academy doesn't like that because I think they don't want them to rely on really anybody too much except for their authority. So, you keep people isolated, they're easier to control.
I'm saying they don't want people too close to their home world and to their previous life outside the empire. But James said that this was a favorite outside of the Thrawn.
I haven't read those yet. I need to read them. I haven't read them.
I have them all on my bookshelf. So eventually, yes.
I might borrow them from you then.
But it was very interesting. I really like the character development of these two.
Because we went from like such a close bond to, if we're talking about the laser cannon incident, they initially accused her because the data showed like, oh, she's the only one who had access to the room where these were kept by herself. And then more data comes up and it's like, oh no, he framed her. And so now they hate each other. They have this big blow up and big confrontation. Now they hate each other. And now they won't like even hardly acknowledge each other. Or if they do, it's like fighting and it's animosity. And then both they go off and they talk about how sad they are and how much they miss their friendship.
But so I think one of my favorite things about this though is, and I love diving into the more the politics of the empire and the well, in this case the rebellion, was we got to see more behind the closed doors of how the empire works and how they train people as well. So they have these cadets, they all train on Coruscants. They want to keep them separated from their homeworld, who they're close to. And like, it is a very competitive situation. And they're constantly being pitted against each other, which creates what the empire wants, is this cutthroat, like personality.
It makes you really, really good, but you also hate or are suspicious of everyone around you. So you're never going to band together. And then if you're never going to band together, you're never going to band together and overthrow the government from within. Because they don't foster connection. They don't foster any sense of brotherhood or like.
But that's where I found it very
constantly be suspicious.
that's where I found it very interesting that um, Sienna, she had that friendship with her roommates that lasted throughout the entire book.
Hmm.
Because they even talked about at one point throwing a birthday party.
Right.
It was just like, so they're only cutthroat in the academy, or once they get to these like higher levels, can they just have a little bit more relaxation? I don't.
I mean, it does sound like they're afforded more luxury once they get higher, which makes sense. You know, they get to have actual food instead of like I thought that was kind of a weird thing. Instead of being told that they're soft for having actual food, they have to drink this Nutrimilk. But as they get higher up, they're allowed to have food without being soft.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I thought that was weird, but I thought it was weird.
I thought that was very true, but I was not surprised that they would do this as a more efficient way to feed their I don't want to say soldiers. Yeah, soldiers.
Yeah,
Their
they're
army.
soldiers.
It
Hmm.
was so yeah, that was interesting. It made me wonder because it's been seen in other books that they do that same thing with their military. Um, but one of the things I really liked was how connected this was to the original trilogy.
Oh, right. Like, hey, there are characters that we are very familiar with, and there's scenarios, and like,
And
there's scenes that we know and we've seen so many times, but we get to see them from the point of
sh-
view of
she was
Sienna.
on the executor the same time Princess Leia was captured. Like
Right? Like,
I
what the fuck?
didn't I was not anticipating this. Like I knew it took place kind of around the same time, but I didn't realize that it was
Yep.
going to be so related and tied in because and same with Thane. Thane was on the Death Star when Princess Leia was on the Death Star. Like he just happened to be away on patrol when the Death Star got blown up. And then they were both there at the fight at the end of Return of the Jedi, like
Yep.
above Andor. Like
That was really fun. And we talk a lot about that, like how fun it is to have things connected because it makes things feel more real. It makes things feel more immersive.
and just it's also getting to see different point of views of everything that's going on.
Oh, hey.
Actually,
Sorry, I just learned something. I just figured out where I can see all the comments. Nice.
Chris, I love the crossover elements like so much.
Yes,
I agree.
it feels more real. It feels more like, oh yeah, I can picture all of this happening because we've seen it and we've heard it and we've read it.
And now, like reading this, and if I go back to watch the original trilogy, you're going to know in the background, Sienna from Lost Stars was just over there in the room. She's had interactions with Darth Vader
Yeah.
while like this battle was going on. They were fighting against each other. Like they were actually out there piloting TIE fighters and X-Wings. Or it was
Yep.
just
So much of the last half of this book was like the two of them in some type of cockpit,
mm-hmm,
like
mm-hmm.
fighting for their fucking lives and to save the other, like trying really hard. The amount of times that Sienna dove in between somebody and Thane to save his life or give him a minute to try to escape, like,
Yes.
and she kept getting away with it.
It blew my mind. And that was one interesting thing that I thought quote that she said was talking about you can be loyal to more than one thing. And we
Right.
really got to see um the conflicting side of that, especially with Sienna. Is it Sienna or
I don't know. The book, I started listening to the book and they
okay.
were pronouncing it Sienna, and then I finished the book by reading it, and so I just kept saying that in my head.
Okay.
I don't actually know.
Was seeing that tearing her apart like internally, like she wants to stand up for this friend that she's grown to love, and but she wants to keep her word to the empire that she like took an oath to defend.
Right.
And there was so much internal like conflict on that end. And
Because
we
her word
also,
means so much to her. Like, her
mhm,
integrity completely defines her. That's what everybody knows her for. And she's trying to figure out, how do I be loyal to my very best friend in the entire galaxy and this empire that I've sworn myself to? How do I
yeah,
do this?
yes. And so, but we even see Thane, he does that too. Like, I really like Thane, and
I do too.
I really liked his character development. And I know we've talked a lot about Sienna, but Thane going from being um, this abused kid to not feeling like he has a home to finding his family and home in the Empire, then realizing once they blew up Alderaan, I
And
can't
that
do
they
that.
were gonna do it again. He was like, Jesus. But after the first time, he was, I think I remember him saying something like, I can't wear this uniform another 5 minutes.
Yeah, he abandoned. He was a deserter, and but then he didn't want to join the rebellion because he also didn't believe in the rebellion because the rebellion blew
Right.
up 2 million people on the Death Star. How
Yep.
is it different between
And
the
that's
two?
something we've talked about a lot. Like, a lot of these people didn't choose to be the bad guys. A lot of them don't believe that they're the bad guys. They don't think they are. They're told, oh, these are terrorists. Look at all
Mm-hmm.
the people that they've killed. And because it's a war, of course they've killed people. Everybody's like, all sides have lost somebody. And so that makes it really easy for them to be like, oh, look at all these bad things they've done. Oh, but we've done this all in response. So don't pay attention to stuff we've done over here. Don't look.
And Sienna's a perfect example of that. She didn't believe the like true what you call it. She thought the Empire was going to do good. She didn't think that they were doing any wrong. She believed that they were truly there to help people. Um, you know what I mean? It just
Yep. And she kept like questioning and then being convinced, no, this is completely rational. This is the reason that we're acting like this. Like, I remember her going to Jude.
mm.
Hi.
Hi,
Thank you so much.
Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. We are talking about a book called Lost Stars.
I love
Andrew,
it. That makes me happy.
I want to give a shout out to Andrew real quick because he helped Matt. He provided us the chainsaw to help us cut down a lot of the branches
Oh,
from the storm like 2 weeks ago. So thank
super
you,
rad.
Andrew. Really appreciate it. And I hope your foot gets better soon and quickly. But what were we talking about?
What were we talking about?
We were talking about Sienna was a perfect example of thinking the Empire was doing good and there to
Oh,
protect the
oh, right,
people.
right, right. I remember specifically one time that it was right after Alderaan. Right after Alderaan, she's standing right next to Nash
Oh,
as they watch Alderaan, his homeworld, get exploded. Like, and they talk about how ashen his face is and how he has to show absolutely no emotion.
mm-hmm.
In fact, they expect them to clap. They expect them to applaud at this display of power as he's watched everything that he loved get exploded, like right before his eyes. And she reaches over and she touches his arm, steadies him, and she has to, watch one of her best friends float around like a ghost for months while
Yep.
he figured out how to process this. And she spent a lot of time talking to Jude about, like, how could they do this? How could they? Wasn't
Blow
it
up an
Jude?
entire.
I
Was it
want to
Jim?
say it was Jude, and maybe it wasn't, because Jude was on the Death Star when it blew up.
Yeah, she
Where am I
was.
thinking? I remember her talking to Jude about, like, how could they do this?
I can't remember, but I
And
know
she rationalized it. She told her, they did this to stop an even bigger war.
to prevent
They
people from
sacrificed, so that
wanting to
other
attack
people
them.
could
Yeah.
live. And
And that
so
did not work.
it didn't, but she kept being told these, like, oh, this is why we're doing it. This is the justification. This makes it okay. And she's an idealist and she wants so badly to believe in the empire that she's given herself to.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because she is so true to her word, like so refusing to break it, you can't blame her. Like, because she's shackled to this thing. She can choose to walk away, but she won't.
No, not at
And
all.
so she has to try to find whatever good things she can because she's stuck.
We agree, Andrew. It is the best show on Facebook.
Thank you.
But I was really glad to see that she's really started to, when she found out they made that second Death Star, that she was like, why would they do this?
Right.
The first time showing this force of power didn't work. Why would they do it again?
Unless they were planning to use it.
Maybe they're not just trying to show a force of power, but they're trying to eliminate those who question them.
Right. They've already done it once.
They don't need to do this. It's not preventing it.
Work.
It just upset more people.
Right. It just pulled everybody into this huge bloody war. It didn't work. So why are we doing it again? Like, and somebody, I think it was Nash, maybe, was like, well, they're doing it just so that they'll know, hey, we just built another one. You don't want to fuck with us. And she was like, but it didn't work the first time.
That's right. You may have blown
would it work
up
the second time? Right.
But we're still here.
Because he got really pissed, like thinking, oh, you're saying that Alderaan was for nothing. And she was like, yeah, it was. Like, nothing came of it.
Talking about Nash real quick, fun fact. Of course, I'm going to have one today. He was actually mentioned in Empire Strikes Back, and he is also a character in the novelization of Empire Strikes Back.
That's cool. Yeah. I don't remember that.
I don't either. I was trying to see if I can find out where he was mentioned in the movie, but now I'm determined to read the book because I have the book.
Okay.
To find out where Nash is mentioned. I think it was during when they were at Bespin, Cloud City.
Okay.
Yeah, because Cloud City pops up in here too.
Yep.
Like they were there.
Who is it? Barris? Barris is from Cloud City? Is that right?
Yeah. Yes. One of them is, because that's where she talks about pools were a luxury to have on Bespin.
Yep. And we knew that because, remember, we thought it was weird.
We're like, where did this random fact come in about Bespin when we talked about him on the planets? And it was from this book. But she was the one that disabled the hyperdrives on the Falcon. Like another.
Oh man, I love that they brought in the Falcon and Solo and Luke and Leia, like.
And Lando.
Lando, right.
He was on the squadron that was Thane was on the squadron that was supporting Lando during.
And that was so fucking cool. Like, to watch him go from, like, I'm in gung-ho Empire to, like, having the chance to to, like, end up in different parts of the galaxy and see what the Empire is doing to people, how they're pushing them around and, like, abusing them. And he's like, I cannot stand for this. And then it takes a couple of times of him watching somebody else get hurt, get pushed around by the Empire, and him not being able to do anything. And he's like, man, if I stay doing what I'm doing, I can never stand up for anybody else ever again. That's not how I want to live my life.
He brought up the slavery part of the Empire.
Yep.
I forget what the one species was, but he also saw the Wookiees.
Right. The Wookiees and the... Oh, they started with a B.
It did start with a B, and it was a difficult word for me.
I don't remember.
But
yes, I don't remember.
He didn't like that they were enslaving people.
Right.
And that was, I think, the turning point, was seeing that these different species were being enslaved, these sentients, and how can you not fight against that? How can you not?
How can you stand for this? How can you stay on this side and try to justify it at all? Look what's happening.
But it did take him a while to get fully committed to the cause of the rebellion.
Yeah.
He was just there to fight. And it was and that reminds me a lot of like Han Solo. Like Han Solo, it took him a while before he was fully committed to the rebellion as well. Like Solo was there to just kind of get on Leia's good side. I think Thane was there just to I'm going to fight, but I need this is something to pass the time away. And I loved his interaction with Mon where he was.
Yeah, it was really exciting when she showed up too. And all these people that we're getting to know a whole lot about keep showing up in this book.
Because he confessed to her while drinking their moonshine.
Yep.
That he's basically
so drunk.
In love with one of these like commanding officers on the Imperial side, and like he's afraid that he's going to have to fight her one day.
Right.
And that's, hey Dina, if you're still watching, that's where this love story kind of plays in with each other.
Right, because they're on opposite sides.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so terrified that he may have to fire on the ship that's holding Sienna. He might end up being responsible for her death.
And he doesn't want to. And the same with her. She doesn't. Once she found out that he was part of the rebellion after reviewing the footage from Hoth, because they were both at Hoth.
And she knew his flying. She recognized his flying. Yep.
Could you imagine being that in tune with your best friend?
Oh, God, that it'd be like recognizing somebody's driving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they'd have to be a really fancy driver, I guess,
but like she even talked about, she knew his walk through the halls and all that too. Like they were truly the best of friends, which makes sense in this case why they become lovers as well, because they had that connection that always held them together, coming from the same homeworld.
Complete trust and faith in each other. Even after things like fracture them apart really hard, they still can't bring themselves to want anything bad or to try to hurt the other person. In fact, they both go out of their way to sacrifice themselves to try to save the other person.
And they understood why the other person was doing what they were doing. Like he understood why she was staying with the Empire and her loyalty to the Empire, and she understood his idealism as to why the rebellion would appease to him and what he would stand for. So it's a very interesting like connection. Like, I support you in what you're doing, even though I don't support
the thing that you are supporting.
Yeah.
Like he knows, even at the end, like he knows she won't want this. She won't want to be fighting for this, but it's her word that's going to keep her there, because she made an oath to the Empire. Even if she wants to walk away, she won't.
And all the way down to the Battle of Jakku.
Yep.
Oh, the Battle of Jakku.
Holy shit.
Oh my.
We saw Yavin. We saw Jakku.
We saw Endor.
We saw Endor.
But, so this is where I thought it was really cool, because
the AT-AT, when they were talking about taking out the AT-AT's knees, I was like,
torpedo.
Oh, yeah,
that Luke Skywalker told him to use the torpedoes to bring him down.
That's fucking clever. Yep.
But
it was fun to see it.
I want to talk about Jakku, because Jakku is what ties us into the sequel trilogy, and that's why this book was released. It was to be a bridge between the original and the sequel trilogy. And we all know Jakku is where we find Rey. We have the big Star Destroyer that is out in the desert that she goes to scavenge parts from. That was her ship. Like, oh my gosh.
That was really cool.
Sacrificing her ship so the rebels would not get it. Like at that point, like they're still, and I thought that was interesting. They're still fighting this hard.
Clarify, not really cool that she's about to drive the planet the ship into the planet, but like really cool to see it tie back in. Yeah,
the connection.
This book made me cry. Like when we were talking about, I mean, Thane thought she was dead. Like he hears, oh, she's gonna drive this spaceship. Or no, he doesn't hear that. He knows that it's going, and he knows her so well. The option she's going to choose is, what's it called? The pilot's word. She's going to go down with the ship, and she's going to fly the spaceship into a planet. And sure enough, she's like running around trying to get everybody on her ship into escape pods. And then she seals the doors. And she's hurtling for a fucking planet.
She's ready to go down. But I thought it was, that whole scene, she's telling her people to use the escape pods to leave. And she made a comment about leading with like connection or empathy or something of that sort, about caring about her the people she's commanding over. She's like, I don't understand why
Right.
the Empire doesn't do this more. Like, she's trying to save all these people, and it's not the first time she has tried to save people. She picked up people off on a world where they were rescuing troops when she wasn't supposed to.
She got reprimanded for it.
Mm-hmm.
And she justified it in her mind, thinking, oh, they're only mad at me because I didn't go through the proper chain of command. Surely they wouldn't be mad about me rescuing people.
It's not how the Empire works.
Justifying.
It's not how the Empire works. But like,
nope. But she's inside it, and she can't see it.
Tina said, yes, I'm still watching Love Story.
Yes, we know that you would love it. You should
Tina
read
is
it.
so
It's
good.
So good.
You can use my
everything
copy.
Claudia Gray writes is so good.
She like understands the original trilogy era, because she also wrote Princess of Alderaan. We're going to take a side note. Princess of Alderaan is probably one of my all-time favorite books. Probably now second to Lost Stars. I think Lost Stars is
way up there for me. I think the Padme trilogy might still be. I might still like them more than this, but it's probably Padme than this.
I can see that.
What's your favorite so far? What's been your favorite?
I think I liked Brotherhood a lot.
Oh yeah,
I do. I think I liked Brotherhood a lot, but I think this one, I love seeing the connections, and I love seeing the conflicting sides, the internal battle of trying to look out for your loved one, but also staying true to your word. But I did find it very interesting talking about staying true to your word. So she was ready to go down with the ship, and he didn't want her to, because she knew her only way outside of this, because she was so far into the Empire, because now she's the commander. She's the commander of the Star Destroyer, one of the youngest people to get to that status.
Right.
Was
and she's like,
to die.
Can't get out. I have to die.
I have to die, because if I escape, I'm going to be questioned by the Empire for letting it get taken, or the ship get taken, because that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to take the destroyer.
They tell you you're supposed to go down with the ship. You're supposed to make sure it explodes.
If she gets captured by the rebels, they're going to put her in prison, and they're not going to be accepting of her in this new galactic empire, or this new galactic republic, a year after they won the battle over Endor. Like, and she was so mad,
and she's like,
so
I'm
mad
going.
that she was saved. She's like, you should have let me die.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any other
all
way
he can
out.
think of is, I can't let you die. Like, she can't die. But that realization comes over him. Oh shit, I just sent her to prison.
When she gets handcuffed as they are saved from that escape pod, I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Like,
you've been so smart throughout this entire book, and this one time, like, I get it, you let your emotions
get all he can think of is, I can't let her die.
And
I just can't let her die.
I get it. He just wants her to survive. He doesn't want to see her die. But at that time, he was not thinking about what's going to
happen. What are you going to do? What do you need an escape plan? He didn't have one. The only plan was, don't let her die.
Which I'm curious. I want to see more of her. Like, I want to know what happens after this. We see
there's got to be more. The
Empire thinks she dies.
I feel like there's a second volume.
I want there to be.
The Empire thinks she's dead. She's obviously not. But I think that there was a book number 2. I thought I saw that.
No, there's no. The only reference, because I was looking to see what else that she may have been in.
Yeah.
But she's only been in the Lost Stars. There's an indirect mention in the book format of Empire Strikes Back, and then an indirect mention in Princess and the Scoundrel.
Okay. I don't remember that. When did that?
I don't know. I was trying to find it, like, because now I really want to reread the book to see, because they also mention Thane.
Oh, yeah.
And Princess and the Scoundrel as well. He's not an indirect mention. Like,
I don't remember that either.
But it's been a while, because we read that back in October last year, I think.
Yeah. So I guess it's not surprising, but yeah, I don't.
But yeah, that's all that they've been in, and I really want to see more. I was hoping that maybe we get some sort of like comic discussion on it or appearance, which because there's so much out there in the comics, there's so many different runs going on right now that they could have easily been brought in.
Yep.
But it was such a good story. It was such
I
a great. I love.
If you guys haven't read it, like, you gotta read it. It's so good.
It was a
And
great
it's a quick
way.
read. It's
It was a pretty quick read. I was able to pretty much read most of it in a day. If you really want to sit down and read it, which was nice because young adults novels are pretty easy, and while they are lighthearted, they're also not lighthearted, as we've discussed.
Right. They get pretty dark. They get pretty. There's some moral dilemmas. There's there's a little bit of sex. There's a little bit of language.
I also thought they were older because at the end, at one point after the Battle of Endor, somebody wished Thane happy 18th birthday.
Wow. Okay. I thought they were in there.
I thought maybe early,
I thought they were in their 20s
older.
too.
Yeah. Okay. And I was like, really? Is this really like what time or what age do they start the Imperial Academy? Because
13, 14.
So that would make sense because they're 3 years in the academy, and then
because they were 5 and 6 when they encountered. They were like 5 or 6 when they encountered Grand Moff Tarkin in the hangar. Right. They were like really little, and then I think they went into the academy at like.
I'm trying 13? To see if I can find it.
Okay.
Preparing for the academy. It doesn't give a specific age. Oh, at the age of 14.
They were 14. Okay.
Yeah. But that still doesn't make sense in the timeline because they spent 3 years. So maybe he's wishing somebody else happy birthday because it's 3 years in the
right. Academy. I remember them talking about 5 years out of the academy, she made commander.
So right? I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know where.
That would have made her 23. At commander, so they were in their 20s.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so young to be making decisions like that, though.
Well, that's not the first time. We also have Sloane from the Empire who got a commander position really young as well. Sometimes they just have these really driven people.
Leia was on the Senate at 14. Padme was a queen at 14.
I want to say hi to Becky. I love you. She's one of my best friends from California.
I need to draw it out with life events. Hi, Becky.
I love you, Becky.
I am excited to meet you someday. I've heard a lot about you.
I talk about you frequently.
It's all terrible things.
It is not terrible things. It is all wonderful things.
Totally kidding. It's all good stuff.
But yeah, this was a really good read. I'm super excited that we chose this one as our what month is this? June or June?
June. Yes.
I don't know what.
And I have a picture of our July book. If you want to announce it.
Yes, you guys. Okay, Kurt, I am so excited about our July book. So we love all things Star Wars, shows, cartoons, animes, movies. So for July, we are going to be reading.
Well, I'm trying.
Star
I would love to share that.
Ronin. It is a Visions novel from episode 1 of season 1 of Visions. And if you have watched this series, you will know it is such a beautiful, beautiful anime with such an amazing story.
Just hang on and I will get a picture. I am trying.
And I am so excited to see it, that it was novelized. And we are going to be reading again. We are going to be doing another bro. James.
There we go.
James. We are so here for it.
James, it's exciting to have you on board. So I think maybe that means you're going to be joining us next month for our Ronin chat.
Yes.
Yeah?
So we
Because
are
you seem very excited.
We are pumped. We are going to be doing another conversation like this again and talking about it live and getting everything out.
What just happened? There we go. I've never done this before, and this is the very first time I've had some of these controls. So I have to play with them a little bit.
I am super excited. This one has also been sitting on my shelf as well. And
I'm pumped to read it. I need to get it.
Special shout out to, in that regards, to Michael and James for helping us select Bonnie's Bookshelf read for July. And I don't know, did Mark help out at all? You talked to Mark at work. No. But we had like 4 people input, so we're good.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be. I'm excited to read it. The cover art is fucking gorgeous. I'm really excited.
Have you watched that one yet? Any of
Yeah, wasn't that in season 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched all of season 1.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched 2 yet.
Me neither. Okay.
Feel ashamed. No, I'll get to it eventually. There's just so much.
What have you been up to though? Like, what you been doing this week?
Other than our con that we went to over the weekend, which was super successful and a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. We made new friends. We took a zillion pictures with Bonnie. We did a bunch of interviews.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody who let us interview you.
And I've been homesick today, so.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what it was. The stomach bug, the food, something from last night just kicked my butt.
Gotcha. Well, I hope that you're feeling better.
Yes. What have you been up to?
Well, the con also.
That was our whole life over the weekend.
It was everything we did. And also there was Pride though. And so we had Tulsa Pride over the weekend, and I went to the parade on Saturday. Got to march with our friend Jericho with her
floats. Love you, Jericho.
And our friends Cammie and Ash and Yance. And I know Yance was tuned in at some point. I don't know if he's still there, but if you are, hi, we love you. You're amazing. There was a really rad picture of Eric and Ash and Yance that was taken by, I think, the Tulsa World. And it was really cool. So we put that on social media.
Jericho's brother was
he was Captain America.
Yeah, his Captain America was on the Tulsa World. Sorry.
Yeah. Yance was Doctor Strange. Eric was a Ghostbuster. I was a Ghostbuster. Everybody else was circus people. Dina was there with us.
Oh,
it was really hot, but it was so much fun.
I was so glad that she was able to go.
Me too. She's gone every year, she said.
Yes, she has. She has. I've always wanted to go. Something always comes up that same weekend. And
I know it. It's super busy time of year. Super fucking busy.
It definitely is.
And after the parade, we went and hung out with Raul was there. Raul and Jake, and Raul's brother were there with Ecto. So we went and hung out with some fellow Ghostbusters. Took some fun pictures. They said hundreds of people came through and took pictures with Ecto, so that's really cool.
That's awesome. I heard it was a really good Pride. I saw a lot of friends posting pictures, and it was just a positive experience all around. So
yeah, it was good.
Bummed I missed it, but I'm glad you were able to attend and represent.
And maybe someday there won't be quite as many things and you'll be able to make it. And if not, you can always see. I'll always take 2 minutes.
That works. But yeah, so you guys tune in. I think this week we have on Friday our finale of Mandalorian.
Yep. And we have a special guest.
Bailey.
Yep.
Bailey will
came
be
back
on that
with us for the finale, so hang out for that one. Make sure you watch the episode first because there will be lots of spoilers. Whole episode will be spoilers. But you can find us. You can on YouTube, on Amazon and Google and iHeartRadio and Spotify. I think Alexa. I think TuneIn. To think.
We do.
I think we're everywhere now.
We are. We got that all set up.
We have the Patreon, which you can join for. I think it starts at $3 and it goes all the way up to $100, which We still haven't figured out what to do with that.
But you do get your special Women in Star Wars episodes each month. This month we celebrated Vel and
Quinta.
Such a great episode. Love those two.
That was really fun. You also get access to special servers in the Discord, some behind the scenes stuff. You get
a newsletter,
swag. You get a newsletter. Yeah, just some interesting stuff. And we're always trying to come up with more things. So
because we love you guys.
Yeah. So and we appreciate you just wanting to come listen to us talk about Star Wars.
So yeah, I think we're done.
Yeah, this was fun. Thank you everybody who came and hung out with us. Hope that it was entertaining. Hopefully everybody who is signed in there isn't just signed in because they're all asleep at their keyboards.
But yeah, from our galaxy to yours,
may the force be with you
always.